Hello, it's almost 2 years now that I'm not using cars anymore, or basically using solely public transport, besides a few exceptions. And I will tell you the reasons why. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Oliver. I run 4 KFC restaurants in Switzerland, and I'm a volunteering fireman. In 2018, I sold my car and was basically solely using walking and bus in Bielefeld in Germany to get from A to B. And when I started all this, the major factor here was that for the transitions I needed to make, those both methods were completely enough to do so, and at the end saved me money, but more importantly made me more of a healthy person and a more aware person of my surroundings. I started taking tons of pictures of flowers around me, which I never really realized before that they were there. And on the other hand, I also used it as an opportunity to get a little more fresh air into my life, because otherwise I was just leaving my apartment, getting in the car, getting in the restaurant, getting in the car, getting home, and that was basically all. When I moved to Switzerland in 2018, the first question in the conversations about my contract had been if I want to have or if I need a company car. And I was almost yelling and saying, no, don't need that. And I went for a public transport ticket, and in the beginning I used just a ticket which took me from my home place to the main restaurants I was working in, and I was just buying separate tickets to achieve the travel to the other ones. But what I realized then is that using a ticket where you have part of the process being paid and part of the travels you have to pay separate ended me in the situation that I considered going somewhere by a money perspective, even though it was not about the money absolute itself, that I couldn't afford it, but more like, but it's probably easier, I will collect those drives or collect those train connections or stay longer or whatever. And the second part was here as well with the connection quality, whether of a second class or first class ticket. I started to work on the train pretty much from the beginning, so I wanted to utilize the time on the train for self-education, doing some stuff for the university, doing some learnings, doing some readings, getting some work done. And I realized pretty fast that doing all this on a second class train and using the cheapest train connections, which is then probably sometimes even being on the not perfect times, because I then had an issue with people were not available yet on the phone because it was too early in the morning, etc. I decided to go for a full-term ticket. In Switzerland it's called a GEA, where you have the opportunity to use every train you want to take. You can use boats as well, and you just hop on the train. And that was a game-changing, life-changing decision for me, because I could use any train in Switzerland. I could use the train also for recreation, going somewhere, let's say on a weekend trip, on a holiday, using another train connection which is more feasible for my needs, and I didn't have to plan my days around my train tickets. And I encourage everyone to challenge their own beliefs about the public transport, wherever they are, and either give it a full chance and say, okay, I'm gonna buy a monthly ticket and see how it goes, or buying for a weekly one, or when they have special offers. I mean, in Switzerland they do have, like right now, you can buy a year pass for 1 month, for 1 month's payoff, and there's no restrictions on it, so you don't have to stick with it for the next month. It's just 1 month and then you're free again. Yes, you have your monthly payments for your car, like insurance, etc., which will run further, so your savings will just come out of the calculation with the gas. But I think for many people who drive longer distances, That might even be a calculation which is worth a try. I mean, in my case, I'm going 2,000 kilometers every week, and I realize pretty easily that it will be more expensive to pay the gas than to get the train ticket. But for other people it might be different, and therefore you just give it a try and see how much more of inner peace you're gonna have. Because you arrive somewhere, you don't have to do something on the run in terms of working, but you can. You still in the train have the option to eat something in the restaurants. On the longer distance trains, you can use a restroom. You can walk a few steps instead of being like completely exhausted due to this long-term sitting. You can move your shoulders. I mean, there's so many options, so many things you can do. And I realized it for myself, and also many people I've been working with, and they changed to public transport. They've been more than happy to come out of a 4-hour train ride and feel okay. And I remember with a friend of mine, after like a 12-hour workday, including the train connections, when he was on his way home for the last 2 hours, and he still looked okay. And in worst case, you can still take a nap and just have a quick rest if you want to, which is a little more difficult in the car, I guess, unless you have someone driving you. So these are my major takes why I prefer the public transport over using a normal car. Because the freedom of a car you can have with rental cars, mobility solutions, and yes, even sometimes when I'm going to Germany, I pick the car because I have so many small locations where I pass by, and sometimes getting some equipment, buying some stuff which I want to take with me, where it really makes sense. But if it would be just from A to B in Germany, I would probably as well just take a public transport and a train. I hope this video helps you decide to go with public transport or give it a try. And if you want to see more of my content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And yes, recording a video while walking uphill is probably not the most reasonable solution I had in a long time, but I hope I'm still understandable here. And I would say thank you so much for watching. Video will come left and right, so you can stay with me. Have a great one and see you next time.